So one of the observed trends when it comes to information operation or spreading polarizing narratives in Slovakia is that while in 2016, 2015, those kind of narratives were being spread by actors at the edge of the information landscape, at the edge of the political landscape. Now they're basically being voiced by mainstream political leaders, including people that are in our parliament and government. And oftentimes they are further amplified by various disinformation outlets in Slovakia that have direct and indirect connections to the Kremlin, or definitely spread narratives that are benefiting the Kremlin, not only in Slovakia but wider region. Spreading a lot of narratives that are undermining the war in Ukraine, undermining the support of Slovakia or European Union or NATO in Ukraine, spreading narratives that if people are going to vote for this and that political representative or political party, if they win the elections, then Slovakia will be dragged into the war, and the sons and husbands of Slovak women are going to be, sent into the battlefield. So there's a lot of utilization of fear, creation of enemies where they're not, a lot of antagonization of various societal groups, people who have more liberal political views, a lot of smear attacks and attacks against civil society representatives and also investigative journalists. There are lots of narratives that are being disseminated. The latest thing that is kind of new and recently being spread in Slovakia is the fact that the anti-governmental protests that are happening almost bi-weekly in several cities in Slovakia are being organized by organizers of Euromaidan or revolutions in Georgia. There has been attempts to say that the leader of Georgian Legion in Ukraine came to Slovakia and is organizing basically coup d'etat. Now, a lot of times what we're observing is that when there are some cyber attacks being conducted in Slovakia against our institutions, or when there are some bomb threats, which was, they were widespread, especially in the beginning of the school year. And there was a week where you had bomb threats being announced at several schools all around the Slovakia. There's a trend to eventually blame the Ukrainians for these activities, while, for example, when it comes to the similar activities that are being observed in Czech Republic, usually the Czech intelligence service says that it's the Kremlin or people somehow connected to the Kremlin that are behind such hybrid attacks. The message is the same as it's for us. A lot of our vulnerabilities that are being utilized by the malign actors, whether domestic or foreign, are there because we enable them. So we need to patch our own vulnerabilities. We need to do our own homework and understand that if we enable, if we do not enforce our existing laws, if we do not stand up for the truth, then there are going to be various malign actors that are going to utilize that. So we need to do that as a homework. Another thing is we need to understand, both in Central Europe and Western Balkan, that building resilience is a long-term solution. It takes time and it takes effort of all the actors within society. It's not only a burden of public administration, but it should actively involve journalists, media, civil society organizations, and researchers. And of course, the structures enabling those kind of policies and those kind of cooperation needs to be established. it shouldn't be only whole of government, but it should be whole of society, because every individual, whether it's a civil servant working in a government or individual as you and me, can contribute to the resilience building of our own respective countries. What we can do better is to exchange know-how on best practices, exchange know-how on observed information operations, because a lot of things are happening at that are similar. A lot of things are happening at the same time. So we get better. We should be getting then better situational awareness, not only what's happening in respective Western Balkan countries, but what's happening on the broader landscape. And that's why it's very great that you organize the conference and brought very interesting stakeholders today so that we can exchange that and foster that exchange of know-how.